What is happening, y'all? Anthurium Papa back with you with another YouTube video. We're going to continue with the education. We're going to continue pushing knowledge, not holding any of that knowledge back. So what are we here for? Well, you've already seen the thumbnail. We're here for Anthurium Seedling care. Perhaps one of the harder aspects of Anthurium care, but once you get the finer aspects, once you get the supplies in order, once you get the confidence in order, you'll have success. I trust and believe. Take notes, listen, learn, and I assure you, you will have everything you need to be successful. But before we get into all that, what are those things that we need? Of course, we need to prepare necessary supplies. We'll go through those supplies, of course. We need to prepare necessary knowledge. I find that knowledge is easier gained through taking care of larger examples. Doesn't need to be a big, huge mom, but you know, something just before caterpillar, 7-8 leaves that's going to be already established. It's going to take a lot of the guesswork out. It's a great starter plan. I even suggest starting with a hybrid, two different kinds of mothers, or a complex hybrid with possibly 4 different kinds of mothers in one plant. Those are going to give the highest level of success. It's going to have the highest level of resiliency, you could say. That care in that larger plant is going to give you that knowledge, that confidence, that background to know the ins and outs, the early ins and outs of Anthurium, and then you can move into your seedling care. So just like my lives, I encourage the people that join my lives to hang out 5 to 6 lives. I don't want to see anybody jumping into Anthurium care. I want all my individuals to be well prepared before we even think about purchasing an Anthurium. I know, sounds crazy, but it's important to me that these babies see success and that you see success and you see confidence and that you don't end up feeling like Anthuriums aren't for you just because you weren't properly prepared. So let's get into it. Let's go down. I'm going to show you the ins and outs. I'm going to show you a couple different sizes of babies, how to pot them up, how to care for them, when to pot them up, when to not pot them up, what to do, what not to do. You ready? All right, let's go down. Alrighty guys, welcome back down to Anthurium Papa's Talking Hands. So, here we are. This is my repot bin. You can get one of those repot mats. You can repurpose a tub, what have you. Just an area to repot your babies is really gonna help you just kind of keep your intermediate soils, your lower soils, your big baby soils all separated in their own individual repot tray so you can just keep reusing it, what have you. So what we have here is my intermediate soil. If you watch my video on soil, so I'm sure many of you have, if you haven't, definitely check that out before this video just so you get a good idea of my soil breakdown, what's in here, ratios, what have you. So you see I have it here. It looks kind of damp because it is damp. I would suggest that you spray down this mix, spray down your tree fern before you mix it up and use it. Otherwise you will have a bunch of schmutz in your nose and you don't want that. So what else do I use to repot my Anthuriums? One of the favorite tools that I have that I always keep around is a chopstick with a nice pointy tip. This is going to help get down into all the little air pockets that are created when you add your soil to your pot, and we really don't want those air pockets, so we're trying to work all those out. At least the big air pockets. The air pockets created by your perlite and your bark, well, that's a big difference. We love those. Next, not completely necessary, but I like to have a small scoop so that way I can get the exact ratios in and I'm not going crazy. By all means, you can use your hands, you know, do what you do. These are just things that I use. And last, of course, you're gonna need a seedling. So you just got a seedling from me. You just scooped up an Anthurium Papa seedling on his Palm Street Live. Well, thank you so much, first of all. I thoroughly appreciate it. But now you've got this little baby, and you didn't choose the pot my seedling option. You said, hey, I think I can do it. I've got everything I need. I think it's time. Got it. Or you purchase from another individual. That's totally okay. You already know if you've joined my lives before, I encourage everybody to come in, hang out, and just learn. So here we go. We've got a little 2-leaf baby here. Can you individually pot them up before that? Absolutely. You can. I even have germinated seeds in this pot brought with my seed mix and just sat right on top and put into the high humidity environment. So these are things that I use during the repot. Additionally, I do use humidity chambers, so they're domes. I'll place a picture here. You see them on my Amazon links. You see them referenced all the time when I'm talking about them. These bins are just going to keep a high humidity that's going to allow the seedling to thrive in there. I keep the vents open at 85 to 90%. With the vents open is generally where it evens out. Even with a full bin. So that is my best suggestion. Buy one of those. There are varying sizes, what have you. Cabinets are totally cool. Just make sure it is a sealed cabinet that's holding, like I said, 85 to 90% humidity. Tents as well. If you're going to use a tent, just make sure it is 85 to 90% and you'll be good. Cool. So let's get moving. So we've got our pot, we've got our seedling, we've got everything we need here. Let me show you how I go about potting him up. So we've got our little seedling here. What I like to make sure is sometimes we have little lower leaves, and just to make sure that seedling gets low enough in the substrate, I like to just pull those straight down. Here's a perfect example of that. Do we see how we have that lowest leaf on there? If we potted it as is, it would be floating pretty high out of the pot. We don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that and simply pull it straight down. See how I just pulled it straight down? And it snapped right at the end of there. It's actually what they're designed to do. They're designed to snap straight down, because you gotta think when something falls from above, from the canopy, it's gonna fall straight down on the plant. And they're designed to release that without causing any abrasions down here. And again, this one too. This one's pretty low. Let's do it. Pull it down. I know it's gonna hurt. I know it hurts you inside, but no, this is good for them, because now, see, we have that root right there. Now it's ready to be dropped down. So let's do it. We'll take this example that we already pulled. So what I like to do is take a little bit of the substrate, add it down at the bottom, just to cover those lower vents up if you're using one of my Papa pots. And again, I do sell these on my Palm Street and on my website, anthuriumpapa.com. But you see I've got it just covered up to the lines down there. That'll prevent any of those little roots from sneaking out of the bottom. I hate that. So put just a little bit more. We got her. So I'll make sure all those roots are inserted in. Perfect. I don't have any squeakers. I don't have any sneakers. We are good to go. So depth-wise, you can see I've got it pretty far in there. I've almost got that lowest leaf almost in the pot. That's what we want. We got a nice depth on there. You can't quite see through the pot, but you can almost see. I'll push it close to the side. So you can see we have very much of the mass of the plant very much lower in the pot. I can go even a little bit lower. That's going to ensure that we get a lot of good activation of lower roots and upper roots, because those upper roots are what's most crucial. So this is where this trellis, this little scoop is going to come in nicely, because I can just lift that leaf up and tap it in. Give it a couple dance shimmies. Shimmies. I'm going to take any of the bigger particulates out that are right on the surface and try to surround it with just a little bit smaller particulate at the surface, because any of those little gaps can actually cause some issues with root activation. We want to make sure we've got mostly tree fern and maybe a little bit of bark up against there. But perlite, big chunks of perlite, we want to kind of try to keep away from. So those roots will run into that perlite and they'll call it a day. So as you can see, the lower part of that plant is completely covered up. I have no lower exposed roots. I have no lower exposed root nodes. I even have this very lower leaf dipping down into the soil. That's awesome. That's perfect. I love that. See, we got it nice and low. I can even add a little bit more. I'm gonna pull that leaf up, drop it down in there. All right, next thing we're gonna check, so again, nice and low. Next thing we're gonna check is the outside. So we're gonna look for air pockets. Ooh, we see any air pockets yet? Oh, I think we see one right there. Let's see, ooh, we did a pretty good job this time. A little one down there. So what are we gonna do? How do we get rid of those, Papa? That's where this comes into play. That's where the most useful tool comes into play. So we'll take out that one at the bottom there. See that? right there. So what we're gonna do is ride the outside of the pot, go all the way down to that pocket. We're actually just gonna do a little dance, make a little love, push your substrate down. Simple as that. And now give a couple little extra taps and you can see, gone. That's what I want to see. Do we have another one over here? Yeah, I think I was pointing one out. Go right in there, ride the outside of the pot so we're not damaging any roots. Beautiful, gone. Little tap, tap, tappy, tap, tap, tappy, done. Call it a day, y'all. Call it a day. So, we have got her situated. We have got her low in the pot. Now, we need to water her through. So, I'm gonna water her through. I have quite possibly one of the most useful tools in my arsenal, which is this awesome electric sprayer, available in my Instagram links. Go ahead and check them out. So again, water it through like I said. We don't want to heavy water through. You notice this is on a nice mist mode. And once that moisture gets to the bottom of that pot, I stop. See how short that was? It's just barely dripping out of that pot. It just barely started doing that. So I'm not heavy watering it through, and I'm actually gonna really shake out excess. So really, I just want moisture retention from the soil, but no extra moisture just kind of sitting in there to bog down the plant. So yeah, pretty much all the drips. And I'll put that on a nice tray, one of the deep grate trays, so that way it can continue to drip out, or I'll even just put it on a open tray and continue to let that drip out. And once it's stopped, I'll go ahead and put it in a regular tray into its new environment. Even those trays that I suggest on my Instagram have like a deep kind of a tray area to them, so you don't have to worry about it. What I do make sure for these small seedlings is that there's no water staying down in that area. We don't want these the soil to have access to that water down there. So do make sure you empty it if you do see any buildup of water. So that's it for those guys. For my first watering, I do feed. It's a very light cycle usually like 1/8 strength of my Tezula MSU fertilizer. Again, anything that I use is available on my Instagram links, Anthurium Papa. Check me out. I also have a website as well that we have some merch on. Very excited about. So guys, we got her all potted up. She's sitting pretty. She is ready to rock and roll. Now we move her to her high humidity environment. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you can go one of two directions. You can go the bins that I suggest in my Amazon or related ones. A nice little row of them here. I keep my vents completely open. And that gets to about 85 to 90% humidity, and that's ideal for the seedlings. You can actually see I've got some seedlings in there right now, loving life in this environment, and this is what I suggest. Alternatively, you can repurpose some clear bins. So I really like this system because I can, of course, grow a lot more baby anthuriums in here. Gives me a lot more space. But this is where our most recently potted baby's gonna go from the video. And again, sitting on top, just some regular grow lights, the ones that I suggest on my Amazon. I have a bunch of different varieties. You don't need anything fancy. You can use brand name, non-brand name, shop lights, what have you, and they'll actually grow beautiful anthuriums for you. So there you go. That's it. I try to make it as easy as possible, as straightforward as possible. Let's do a quick review though. Just do a quick review though. So you're gonna take my mix, my tree fern mix, if you will. Watch my last video to know what it is. Get your pot of choice. You can scoop one of my awesome translucent clear pots from anthuriumpapa.com, or come join me on Palm Street for my weekly sales Thursday and Sunday. Follow me on Instagram to find out what time. Additionally, You're gonna need your environment. So some kind of humidity bin. I showed you 2 kinds. A nice clear top one that you can get bunches of, or you can repurpose clear top bins. Works quite well. But like I said, just make sure you're monitoring that situation. So we wanna make sure we have some kind of thermometer. Everything that I use, everything that I suggest is on my Instagram in my bio. Drop down, go to the shop, and everything on there is connected to the Amazon links there. By no means do you need to purchase from there, but it just gives you everything nice and in one spot. So we've got our environment, we've got our clear pot, we've got our substrate. We go ahead and we get our seedling in there, buried nice and low. Make sure we cover up all the upper roots, all the upper potential for bigger growth. Water it through with a nice 1/8 strength fertilizer. So that way they're nice and happy. You can also feed a myco as well. I'm excited to be working with a new myco brand. Established, but I'm very excited for me. They're new to me, so I'll be announcing them very soon. So pay attention to my Instagram. I'll be announcing that I'll be working with them, I should say. They're well established, but I'm very excited. It's gonna be a much more cost-effective USA made option. Very excited though, very excited. So guys, like I said, in the pot, get it nice and low, water it through, myco or feeding, either one is gonna get them set up quite nicely. A myco right off the bat always helps to get them established. You can also inoculate at the roots if you'd like. I just use a water through method, and then get yourself some nice grow lights and you're good to go. Environment, lights, soil, pot, little baby, placed correctly into the pot, fed correctly, myco inoculated correctly. You can't go wrong. Make sure we're hitting 85 to 90% humidity. Done. Done. So guys, let me know how I did. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you enjoyed, what you didn't, what you would like to see me elaborate on. I'll answer any questions in the comments. You already know. Let me know what you want to see in the future. If you want to support Anthurium Papa, go to anthuriumpapa.com. I have merch. I have awesome purple tie-dye with the Papa front logo, same one as that one, and the old man logo, same one as this one. So quite excited to offer those. Plenty of stickers, all that fun stuff. Additionally, if you want to support me, you can jump on Palm Street and join my lives Thursday and Friday. I always throw announcements, reminders, all that fun stuff, subscribe tags, all that fun stuff on my Instagram, so make sure you follow me there as well. I'm all over the place, y'all. I'm all over the place. Anthurium Papa everywhere. No underscores, no spaces, just Anthurium Papa. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I thoroughly appreciate it. Your love and kindness on all the prior videos really means the world to me. I'm simply just trying to share my passion in a community that wasn't so sharing in the beginning, but slowly but surely we are setting the precedence of community, not competition. Community over competition. That is what we are about here at anthuriumpapa.com. So I'm so glad you could join me this time. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, get on all things Anthurium Papa. Okay, I'm done plugging. I'm done. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Come back for the next one. Most importantly, keep growing forward. Thank you. Be well.